Whenever you have a screen like this, the screens start to wear, and as they start to wear, you wind up with holes in them like this. These are actually made of fiberglass. Some of them are made of aluminum, but this one's made of fiberglass. Once they start to rip like this, to repair it is really not a big deal. The first thing we got to do is we got to take this screen assembly out of the window. And to do that, these windows are a little different. All windows are a little bit different. This one is one that actually the windows tilt out, so we could loosen up the two lock tabs up on the top right up here. We pull the top of the window out, and then we pull the screen assembly. It does not come out this way. It comes out from the top this way. So, all right, let me show you how to do that. First thing we do is we're going to close this window down partially. We're not going to close it all the way, because if we close it all the way and we tilt this window out, this part is going to hit into the sill here, and it's not going to open all the way, or you're going to snap this off right here. So we're just going to open the window just a little bit, and up on top here, there's two little tabs on both sides of them. You just push them to the center, and then you pull the window, and it opens up like this. You want to hold it. You don't want to drop it, because if you drop it, you'll be changing the window. All right, then we take this little tab, take that off like this. Take this one off as well, like that. And then we just pull the screen out like this. And as you can see, that's a pretty big hole in it. So let's take this into the garage, and we're gonna continue in there how to replace the screen assembly. So let's take a walk in the garage. We're gonna need this material here. It's called screen spline. I'm not pushing this company here. It's just this is the one. You can see this is .140. This particular one. They do make it in different sizes, .125. So I bought both of them because I wasn't sure which one it was, but as it turns out, it is the thicker one. So this is the one that we use. And now you don't have to buy it in 100 feet. I bought it in 100 feet because I'm changing a lot of screens. So that's why I have this big package of it. But you can buy it, I think it's in a 25-foot length. All right. You're also going to need a razor blade, or a straight razor, or something to cut the screen material. You're going to need a scissor, and you're going to need a small screwdriver. And the last thing you're going to need is you're going to need a tool like this. This tool is actually, it's a double-sided tool. If you look closely right here, you'll see that this part of the tool itself, it's rounded. It's actually round on the outside. And if you look at the opposite end over here, you can see that this end here, it's like a V-notch inside there. That V-notch is actually, when you're putting the spline in, it holds the spline stationary so that you can roll on top of the spline without it slipping off and possibly damaging the new screen. So we're going to use this one first, and then we're going to use the one that's actually like a V-notch inside of it to put the spline in the frame itself. All right, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the spot where the spline actually ended or started. And that's why you're going to need a small screwdriver just to get up underneath it, like this. And then you pull out the screen spline. Now, if this is in good shape and you choose to use it over again, you can use it over again. I'm not going to, because it's very brittle, and I don't want to take a chance with breaking it. The spline is so cheap, it doesn't really pay to reuse it. So we're just going to take this out, and we're going to get rid of it. All right, so we just take that out. And now the screen itself, you can see the screen is stuck in there pretty tightly. But if you come in here with a screwdriver and you just move inside here with the screwdriver, you can get it to come out. Now you can use a screwdriver, you could use a knife, whatever you want to use. Now you want to be careful when you take this out, because this material actually breaks off, and this, you can see this stays in the channel right here. It's very important that this channel is clean, that all the material comes out of the channel. So we're just going to take our time, we're going to pull it out. And then this, of course, is trash. Now remember what I said about the channel. You have to make sure you get every piece out of the channel, otherwise it'll interfere with the spline when you try to put it back in. Okay, just going to dump out any kind of debris. We'll have the little pieces of spline material that is in there. We just take that out. Now you can take your screen material and you lay your screen material over the top. Now, normally this just happened to work out really well because normally it comes in a very large roll. It comes in a very large roll like this. I've done quite a few of them here already today, but usually this is 100 feet in length, or they come 25 foot in length. So you'll need to cut the material to go into the frame itself. Now, normally if you're cutting the frame, if you're cutting the material, you want to leave 1 inch all the way around the frame, at least 1 inch. You can go a little bit more, but do not go any less than that. All right, so now we're going to take the material, we'll stretch it out over this like that, and then we're going to take our wheel, the one that's actually rounded, not the one that's concave, but the one that's rounded. We're going to hold the material in place, and we're going to put this into the groove here, and we're going to go very slowly along that groove. You want to stretch it with your hand a little bit so that it goes nice and straight. And we're going to go all the way around like that. Now, I do it on carpeting because it's actually a little easier than doing it on anything else, because carpeting you don't have to worry about damaging your frame. All right, we don't have anything in the channel yet, but we're actually just pushing the material into the frame. Now you want to pull it just a little tight. You don't want to keep it real tight, but a little bit. You don't want any bows inside here. You want it fairly snug so that you don't have any kind of a bubble or a wrinkle in the new screen. And last, we're going to turn it here. And the same thing, we're going to hold our hand on it. We're going to take the material and just keep it a little bit taut. Okay, so now we have it all the way around. We're going to take our spline and we're going to put it in the groove like this. And you're going to take the one that's actually a V-notch like that. You put the spline in the groove. You take your tool, put it on top of the spline, stretch it across like this, and then you roll it and you push the spline into the channel. And once you get to the end like that, you make sure it's pushed in all the way. And we're just going to rotate it here. And then this corner over here, you won't be able to get in here with this tool. So you're going to need a small screwdriver, and you're going to push the spline into the corner so you can make the turn to go up the other end. And then once you have your corner, you put your tool back on, the one with the V-notch in it. You stretch out your spline across where it's going to go, and you push it down as far as you can. And we're going to rotate this whole screen again. This is why I like doing it on carpeting or an old piece of carpet. And we're going to make that turn on the corner again with the small screwdriver. And you're pushing it in with the small screwdriver. Watch you don't damage the screen, because if you damage the screen, it's going to rip it and you're going to wind up doing it a second time. Alright, holding the spline like this, and just push it in again. We're just going to cut it to an approximate length now. We're going to make that turn one more time on the end here. And we push the spline back into that groove again. And now we're just going to trim it down so that it's even on the end here. And that's it. Our splines are all in. Now you'll take your razor blade or whatever you're using to cut the screen material, and you take your razor blade. You want to make sure that you don't accidentally cut the screen itself, this part of the screen. So we're going to cut on the edge right up in here where the spline is recessed into it. We're going to take our razor, put it on here like this, and just run it across here very lightly. Now we're going to rotate our screen. We're going to cut that corner with our razor blade. Now I always take your tool and just run it through one more time to make sure that your spline is in all the way. And that's it. It's all done. All right, let's go back inside. We're going to put this back in. Now remember, you lift the window up just a little bit. You push the little tabs in here, and pull the window, and it opens up just like that. We're going to take our screen, put our screen back in position. Rotate the lock tabs to hold the screen in place. Close our window. And as you can see, the difference is like night and day. Here at the screen, you can't even see it, where before it looked horrible because of the holes in it, which doesn't keep any of the bugs out. Not to mention that you can't see outside. All right, so it's a fairly easy job, so just make sure you have your tools before you start. All right, as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.